Alright, let's get into the guitar playing of the great Duane Allman. Duane is one of the most interesting blues rock guitar players of all. He was born in 1946, and even though he shares many of the same influences as Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page, by being influenced by all the blues greats like B.B. King and Buddy Guy, he was also a huge fan of modern jazz and the music of John Coltrane and Miles Davis, and he used that influence to create his own excursions into new styles of blues and blues rock. That was a fusion, really, of modal jazz and blues. He was also a session player and played a lot of sessions with R&B greats like Wilson Pickett, King Curtis, and Aretha Franklin. And that element, that southern element of soul and R&B, is audible in his playing as well. And when you put all those things together, you get a sound and a style that is truly unique. But the area that Duane stood out the most in was slide guitar. No one had taken electric slide guitar as far as he did before in terms of the amount of control that he displayed, and his virtuosity as well, that you can hear on tracks like Statesboro Blues, One Way Out, and Don't Keep Me Wondering. He wore a glass bottle that came from a cold medication known as Cricidin on the ring finger of his fretting hand, and he also picked with his fingers. Duane established a very high standard for slide guitar, and it's one that continues to be emulated by millions of guitar players the world over. Duane is most well known for using Les Paul guitars. He is seen in the studio using 1958 gold top Les Pauls, and is probably best known for his 1959 Tobacco Sunburst Les Paul guitar. He used light gauge strings, I believe they were 9s, and in the studio preferred Fender amps, but live used 50-watt Marshalls. Occasionally, primarily in the studio, he stated that he liked using a fuzz-face distortion pedal as long as it had a dead battery in it. A great way to get into the slide guitar playing of Duane Allman is to look at it in terms of a shuffle. This next example is a shuffle in the key of D along the lines of the old Blind Willie McTell track, Statesboro Blues. This first example of demonstrating Duane Allman's style of soloing is played over just a typical shuffle in the key of D along the lines of a song that the Allman Brothers made popular, a song called Statesboro Blues, which is an old blues song written and recorded by Blind Willie McTell. And on the Allman Brothers recording of this song, Duane played slide guitar, and when Duane played slide, most of the time, almost exclusively, he played in open E tuning. So I have this guitar tuned to open E right now. Open E tuning, low to high, is E, so that string stays the same. The A string's tuned up to B. The D string's tuned up to E. G string's tuned up a half step to G sharp. B string stays the same, and the high E stays the same. So the outside E stay the same and the B stays the same, but the A string goes up a whole step to B, D string up a whole step to E, G string up a half step to G sharp. So when you strum across all the strings, you hear an E chord, and when you lay the slide across the 12th fret, likewise you hear another E chord. So anywhere you lay across all the strings, you're going to hear a major chord, the root note being positioned on either the 6th or the 1st string at that fret. So that's a G note, that's a G chord. Now Statesboro Blues is in the key of D though. A lot of slide guitar players tune the guitar to whatever key the songs are in that they play. Typically if people play in the key of E, and a song is in the key of E, the slide guitar will be tuned to open E. Duane used open E all the time, regardless of the key. So this is in D, he's going to play at the 10th position. And that's your D chord right there. Now, a couple things about slide technique, just basic slide technique. And some of these things are going to be relative to the way Duane played slide, because the first thing with slide guitar is choosing what finger to wear the slide on, and also what type of slide to use. There's so many different kinds you could choose from. The two most common types of materials used for slide will be glass and metal. This is glass, and this is also known as a bottle type of glass because it's based on what Duane used. Duane used a bottle from a medicine, a cold medication called Coricidin or Coricidin, and it came in these glass bottles, and he found that he liked them for to play slide with. And because Duane became so popular for his slide playing, Coricidin bottles became very sought after, coveted things, and especially now to this day, because they discontinued the medication ages ago. This is a Mojo slide. It's a very good slide, and it's a good replica of the Coricidin bottle style slide. Duane would wear it on his ring finger just like I'm doing. One of the benefits of wearing the slide on the ring finger is your pinky's out of the way, and you can use your middle finger not only to hold the slide in place, but to glide along behind the slide and help mute the strings so you get unwanted overtones will be eliminated. And if you look at pictures of Duane, it's funny, a lot of times you'll see him with all of his fingers out and just the slide on the string, so you can see that he isn't muting. But combined with his terrific left-hand technique, his right-hand technique, he picked with his fingers when he played slide, and it involved, when you picked one string, you're using the fingertips of the fingers to mute the other strings. So, if I'm going to play that high D, I'm resting my thumb across all the strings so that you don't hear anything but that high string. Then if I go down and play a note on the B string, I have my thumb still going across all the lower strings, but now the tip of my ring finger came down to block the high E string. So the same thing happens as you move across. You just mute more strings on top as you go to lower strings. And Derek Trucks, who is one of the best slide guitar players alive today, you can see him do the same thing all the time. If you look at his right hand, the thumb is always laying across all the strings, and he's going to come down with his index finger to pick the notes.